I got to thinking, since half of my brain is pretty childish, it's always picking like people to go into battle with, right? People pick like Black Panther, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, like your typical usual choices. But that's a sausage fest. That is a whole bunch of dudes on a roster, mindful with fantastic abilities, incredible feats of strength, and intelligence, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But hardly ever do you see, especially when it comes to guys, pick a women's based team. First pick is Psylocke, and the reason for that is just like Psylocke is very much so an underrated character and should be a prominent female character in any Marvel anything, because her abilities are, she's like low-key OP, as many characters are. She's a telekinetic, telepathy, she can enhance her healing factor and her strength and her speed with her telekinesis. She's also a master martial artist. She got astral projection, psionics, force fields, anything that you could pretty much think a psychic can do, who also has a top-notch martial arts prowess, is Psylocke. Just 100%. It's all her, and she's completely badass with it. Not just hand-to-hand fighting, but when she's like in your mind, she's an expert at fighting you on a telepathic level as well. So for anybody else who's a telepath, that's a problem for you. Like, I wouldn't want her in my mind, and if I tried to get in her mind, I would be trying to get out as soon as possible, because that's gonna be a lot to deal with. Dealing with somebody like her with her abilities and her prowess is just, I don't want any smoke with that. On top of that, she's also a master swordsman. She always walks around with that katana, and out of her telekinesis, she can physically shape that psionic telekinetic force into physical weapons, so that she really has unlimited weapons that she could use against you, and that's just not something I would want to go up against, really, no matter how strong I was. Like, she's a problem. Speaking of definite problems, X-23, the daughter slash clone of Wolverine. I thought she was kind of like a one-off character when I first saw her. I thought she was just like a little, sort of like a little side sort of story, or just like something extra separate. I didn't think it was really going to be like canon. The movie Logan definitely sold me on the character 100%. Like, I always thought she was cool. Just the fact that she has the claws on her feet. She doesn't have the traditional 3 claws like Wolverine, but she has the claws that come through her, like, just pop out her feet. All by itself, that's crazy. She doesn't have the same adamantium skeleton though, so she's not as strong as Wolverine. Wolverine can lift about 2 tons. She can lift around, what's your top strength like Olympian can lift around? I think it's like 800 pounds or something like that. But she's also an expert level combatant. Her senses are like any other animal sense. She has enhanced reflexes and agility and all that, making her ridiculously deadly. On top of that, she was also trained in assassination techniques. So when it comes to pure hand-to-hand and assassination, and also that ridiculous healing factor that derives from Wolverine as well, it is very hard to kill somebody like her. Like, she's gonna get the leg up on you. She's probably gonna outmatch your average dude in strength. She's gonna take out a room full of highly trained anything by herself, because she's just that good. That's been her whole life as a trained assassin initially. And then even if you do get the drop on her and even try to put a bullet in her head, she's gonna come back from that and probably come slaughter you later. Also, she speaks like multiple languages, which is crazy, because it's hard enough to learn a second language. For anybody that can speak multiple languages, yo. Now, see, I made a similar video last year, right? But I never made an all-women's team. But I had to keep the queen on. This is T'Challa's ex-wife, unfortunately, because that is black love power couple at its fullest. This chocolate weather goddess Storm, there's no way I could not put her on the team. Another woman that got them hands for you if you want it. No powers, no weapons. If you want the smoke, pull up, she's with it. Or she'll just smoke you with like a lightning strike because she don't got time for that. Storm being able to manipulate anything and everything that is the weather is ridiculously overpowered. She's almost considered an Omega level mutant, which is almost on the same level as Magneto. And if you know anything about Magneto, he's strong as hell. Having Storm on the team is crazy. Plus, she has leadership skills. She's also an expert tactician. She's a master thief, and she's pretty good with knives. Like being trained by Black Panther, Wolverine, and the Dora Milaje, which is the army, the all-female army in Wakanda in Marvel Comics. She has everything you need on top of ridiculous versatility when it comes to her superpower. Like, the weather isn't just like rainstorms and stuff like that. It is hurricanes, it is monsoons. Plus, she can perceive like the electromagnetic field and everything else that is weather phenomena. So not putting Storm on the team, I feel as though you're doing a disservice to yourself and you just asking for your whole squad to take an L, because that is one person, minus the other two that I previously mentioned, X-23 and Psylocke. That is one person that could trash a continent full of people. If you don't have anything to match that, why you even come to fight? You know what I'm saying? Speaking of fighting though, keeping with the subject of hand-to-hand, it is a theme I like when my heroes are actually trained, know how to throw a punch, kick, can wrestle with somebody, can really throw down and brawl. I don't know why they don't highlight more of her feats in the movies, but Guardians of the Galaxy is really sleeping on Gamora, and that's number 4 on this team. Gamora is number 4 on this amazing team of women. She does not get she doesn't get the shine that she's supposed to get. She does not. She's severely underrated in the movies. I don't think they represent her well, though Guardians is a good movie. I don't think they represent Gamora like Gamora should be represented. That sword that she typically has with her, that sword has a name, and it's called Godslayer. It's used for exactly what the sword is named for, slaying gods. On top of that, she has ridiculous feats of super strength. Like, she can match Drax, who is also not represented well enough, I think, in Guardians. She can lift 100 tons, which is 200,000 pounds of anything. So if Gamora wanted to, she could throw a building at somebody. She's fought people on levels like She-Hulk. She knows a ridiculous amount of fighting styles. I think it's something like 83% of like every fighting style like ever or whatever. Like, it's something like that. Like, her combat prowess is ridiculously high. She is the daughter, quote unquote, of Thanos, and you know how much of a tyrant Thanos is. Being under the constant brutal guidance and training regimen of somebody like Thanos, or at least trying to sort of live up to that, is like she has bodies across galaxies, planets. She can hold her own against the best of the best and come out with some scratches here and there. She's a master everything: strategist, tactician, marksman, swordsman, combatant, like you name it. Things that matter. That is a deer. I have 4 top-notch women. There's 4 top-notch women. And the 5th, as I mentioned earlier, is on my shirt. Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. She is the closest thing Marvel is going to get to a Super Saiyan. And she's really OP. And I think her ability should shine more. For somebody to have the ability to absorb any type of energy that they want, kinetic, electrical, electromagnetic, chemical, heat, any variation of energy, and still be beat, I think is ridiculous. I understand it makes for a good story when she's going through hard times. She can't just best everybody with raw power. I understand that doesn't make for a good story, but at the same time, she has these capabilities. Super strength, super speed, energy projection, a whole bunch of crazy abilities. Almost like if the Super Saiyans and androids kind of mixed, she kind of has all of that. Like the simple ability to absorb energy, even if she had nothing else, and then disperse it out in like ridiculously powerful concussive blast. That is another level of power. And on top of that, if she garners enough of it, harnesses, absorbs enough energy, she can transform into her binary form. It's easy for her to surpass Lightspeed. She has apparently connections to like wormholes and stuff like that, which can lead to like space travel or dimensional travel. Like you name it. I have no idea exactly. Like wormholes are theoretical in real life, but in Marvel they're real, and like you know what goes on in comics if you're going through any sort of portal. Just the list of all of these women's abilities, from Psylocke to X-23 to Storm to Gamora to Miss Marvel. And I have all the bases covered. It's a lethal team, and it's not even that over the top. I could have picked a whole bunch of like OP females, but nah, I wanted to make it a good fight. So if you think you could pick a better 5 women to come up against my top 5 females, yo, leave a comment. Like, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you bout that life. Other than that, if you not, I don't want to hear you say nothing about my squad, because we coming for you. I can send them anywhere and they're going to be there. It ain't going to be no thing. They don't get tired. You know what I'm saying? So you see my squad, and if you think you can beat it, let me know.